Guten Morgen! Guten Morgen! Guten Morgen! Boys, lads, boys, what is up? I was listening to music when you went live and I thought I was hearing some wild backup vocals. I didn't notice. That's actually really funny. Well, I'm glad it sounds decent enough that it's there. Don't have much time to stream today, unfortunately. I have to go for a long drive right after this. So I figured instead of trying to cram everyone's requests in and me just blazing through all the songs, let's listen to a classic album. Let's listen to some, as the Zoomers put it, some unk slop. Let's see if this album is as good as I remember it. You know, I've listened to a few tracks here and there, Blinded by Fear, Cold, you know, here and there. But it's probably been, man, I don't want to say 10 years since I've listened to this album all the way through. I want to see if the unk slop still holds up or if we're all blinded by nostalgia. Cheers, boys. Cheers. In Flames was my intro, but this album was not too long after. I don't know. This album, it's like In Flames. In Flames went like full beauty from melodic death metal, but at the gate seemed to retain a lot of the aggression, I guess. I have some exciting news for myself. Finally got the album art back for my own melodic death metal project, Mystea Morningside. She looks very beautiful, exactly what I wanted. The artist Tabea in Edmonton was great. If anybody wants more information, let me know. She does great work at a very, very reasonable price. Just excited, got it back. So I figured, why not listen to some melodic death metal classics? Do we listen to the bonus tracks? Yeah, let's listen to the bonus tracks. I don't think I've ever actually listened to the bonus tracks. Is it on this one? Looks great, bro. Looks very power metal. Yeah, exactly. I wanted it to be very power metal-y, kind of. Slaughter's Soul Dynamic Range Edition. Is this the one you wanted? We'll listen to this one and we'll go to the Slayer cover. We're gonna rate every song out of 10 here. I want you guys to rate it too, because I'll do a crowd rating for this as well. All right, boys, ready? Go! This out, man. You're in for a treat. Oh, I love it. Low-key, is that the best opening riff in history? It might be. This is the most iconic Melodess song, man. Never tired of listening for 20 years. There's no more satisfying chord progression in melodic death metal than going from 0 to 8 to 7, which is what they play here, man. So good, so good. The root to the major 6 to the minor 5th there. This bridge is so cool too. The new single was amazing, by the way. Yeah, someone requested it. I thought it's a great idea because they are releasing a new album soon and a new single. Guitars are huge in this album. So peak. Oh, dude. Absolutely. Very Iron Maiden-y solo there, if you think about it. I love this like fast skank beat they play, man, on the drums. So good. Oh, bros! Unbelievably good, man. At the Gate, singer just died. Yeah. Rest in peace. Fuck cancer, boys. Blinded by Fear. You know, like I said, probably one of the most iconic opening songs ever. Noisy intro with the screech. Like, that sort of atmosphere just perfectly matches this cover where we have, like, religious iconography combined with, like, this massive, modern, crushing sort of dystopia around it with all these, like, weird staircases and machinery. It feels very sort of, like, mechanical and almost, like, religious in a sense, especially with the more melodic riffage. Guitars just sound huge. Vocals are so pained. Insane riffing, great solo, cool bridge, man. Like, what can you say? Like, even like a little bit catchy lyrics too, like in the chorus. Easy 10 out of 10. Easy 10 out of 10. I think everyone knew that was going to be the score. Chat, give me your rating. We'll wait a second. I think I already know what it's going to be. A punch in the mouth out of 10. 10 for sure. 10 out of 10. Album full of bangers. No skips. Bass. Yeah, it sounds like a bunch of rusty machinery banging and scraping in the beginning. It's like industrial Melodess. Yeah, bro. Absolutely. Even the drum beats that they play, like I was saying, that sort of like fast, sort of like Euro kind of skank beat that plays under the main riff. Ah, yeah, I love it. Apparently for the album, Tomas recorded the whole vocals one day before he went in for mouse surgery for cancer. Cancer. Fuck, man, dude. I couldn't even imagine doing something like that. Holy shit. My mate played this album in the car on vacation for the first time last year. He said really needed to go and see them when they come to Near Festival. A month later, the singer had passed. Oh, man. Brutal, brutal. Well, I think it's safe to say the chat rating is also a 10 out of 10 for this one. Next up, second track on the album, title track, Slaughter Soul. Let's go. Go! One of the things that I really liked about this song, opening riff obviously is really sick, but as they move in, they change up the riff a little bit. And what they do when the verses come is they play like parts of the main riff, but then change it up for the vocals too. So it's like natural progression of the same riff, but they add enough variety to it that it sounds a lot different once the vocals come in. Really, really cool effect. And when it comes back around to the verse, make sure you take a listen to it. It's such a cool songwriting technique to do that. People always forget Symbolic came up before this. Symbolic also has tons and tons of like metalcore riffage too. And The Jester Race and Subterranean by In Flames is out before this as well. Not trying to take away anything from this album, but I'm just saying, you know, lots of metalcore influence everywhere. I love how they didn't slow the tempo after the song. Yeah, absolutely. Just continues just to pummel you like machinery, bro. Like slaughtering of the soul through modernity, which is a lot of the topics lyrically here on the song. Oh, no lyrics on this one, sorry. Oh, what's up, Toborski? I'm doing well, bro. How are you? Oh, this halftime part, bro. So massive. Halftime part is just so sick in this song. Such a unique change too, and then they add almost like sort of like this bluesy kind of riffage too. Obviously kind of taking some cues from like Wolverine Blues a little bit here. So fucking sick. Just the whole song and album up to this point has kind of been pummeling in its tempo, right? But then just add that crazy huge halftime riff, man, after the chorus. Sheesh! Oh yeah, the gallery's out too. Yeah. Nasty throat-shedding vocals, bro. And then I love it, the second time they play that riff, they don't halftime it there. So cool. Such a cool, like, touch they do. I love, love, love how a lot of the times on this album, they don't necessarily play the harmonies stacked together, like in the center. Right in the chorus, so they had the one guitar just playing in the right speaker, the power chords. The other one was playing sort of like the melody riff there. Such a cool way to space it out, and they do different things. Sometimes they'll harmonize like in the middle. Other times it'll be completely left and right. So many cool touches on this album, bro. So sick. Just nasty throat-shredding vocals too. It's pummeling, but the melodies keep it from tiring my ears out. Yeah, bro, exactly. It's like you need to like strategically use dissonance to make things heavier, right? It's like peaks and valleys. You need to have, right? There are no peaks without the valleys in between, you know what I mean? Everything about this album is just so abrasive in the best way without sacrificing melody. Masterclass in the genre. Jeff, I couldn't have said it better myself. Very astute. You should start a YouTube channel, buddy. Best melodeath album out ever. It's really good. I'm not sure if I would call it my favorite though, but really good. Yeah, boys, you already know this song's easy 10 out of 10 for me too. Just so many cool riffs, so many cool change-ups. Amazing song. Great guitar tone, by the way. I like how it's like the HM2 pedal, but slightly just toned down, like ever so slightly, right? If like an HM pedal is like a 10 out of 10, noisy and distorted, this is at like a 9 out of 10. Like it's just tamed enough to really sort of help the melody and everything about it. Yeah, so good. Big up to Microsoft Word font on the album title too. Flame it up. You gotta love the Papyrus font. Listen, Lamb of God's logo for 30 years was Papyrus, right? Not 30 years, like 20 years. Maybe most influential. Yeah, I could probably put him most influential. In Flames suck. Bro! Okay, he's trying to bait me. I won't take the bait. Well, let's keep moving on here, guys. I assume this is also just going to be 10 from you guys. Next up, we got Cold. Looking back at me, I see that I never really got it right. Wrong Cold. Sorry. finger annihilating riff. This song here inspired like every single Black Dahlia Murder riff. In his defense, In Flames has sucked for longer than they were good. No comment, no comment. In Flames is a grower for me. Early In Flames is like untouchable, buddy. Like Subterranean, unbelievably good. I feel my soul go cold. Such a sick line. I feel my soul go cold. Unbelievably sick riff. I gotta pause before we get to the bridge. Yeah, that little like post-chorus riff or bridge riff, how you could say. Oh, dude, unbelievably sick riff. Another thing that I was just thinking about while I was listening to it here, it's like from like 1995 to like, let's say, I don't know, like 2003, before everything became like super digital. I know they're recording digital back here too, but 1995 to like 2003 is really like the sweet spot for metal production, in my opinion. Like so many of my favorite sounding albums of all time came out during this time frame. This one sounds amazing. I love the way Horacle sounds as well. Sound of Perseverance, Dead Heart in a Dead World, like all these albums, man, like it's like the perfect apex of like old recording tech and knowledge combined with like this new additional digital age before everything. It's just so peak, man, so peak. I love it. Did you see the Children of Bodom United show? I did. Oh, Fall of Reaper, that's a great sounding album too. Midian, bro? Yeah, exactly, Tarek. Oh. The solo in this song kind of reminds me a lot of Andy the Rock's solo from Trapped in a Corner on Death. Shout out Death, there's a Death mention. Sick solo too. Listen to that bass sound, man. One of the best ride cymbal sounds of all time. Oh man, just the noise and feedback. Normally, I don't really like when bands like noise and feedback out and then the songs just ended, but again, like it just sort of fits in with the whole like theme and vibe of this album. Like it feels just religious and machine-like and poignant. I don't know, and just like crushing, I guess. Just so good, man. So good. Man, Cold, like, dude, I'm trying to, like, again, I think the Unk Slop is holding up, boys. Like I said, it's been like 10 years since I've heard this album in its entirety, and it's just still so sick. It's still just so pummeling. There's so much momentum. There's so much energy behind a lot of these songs, especially I think it's like the skank beat, right, too, that the drummer plays the whole time. I just love those beats so much. Yeah, Cold. I feel my soul go cold. So many sick riffs. Again, 10 out of 10. Easy, easy. All right, so now we have Under a Serpent Moon is the next track up here. No misses from the Unk record. All right, boys, let's keep her going. Maybe we'll have lyrics to the next one. Nope. Oh yeah, we do. Let's go. That opening riff is so cool. It like flirts with the sort of regular minor scale, right? Briefly, they go so they flirt with the regular diatonic minor scale before several times they just immediately dip down to like a note below it, like out of scale, right? So cool. It almost like feels like a serpent wrapping around like the melody itself. Really, really sick riff there. Massive guitar tone. Unbelievable. So cool, man. Again, like the melodies that they're playing, especially on this song, they do it quite often for the whole album. They're like very diatonic, but then they'll briefly just dip out of the scale, just like a little bit. So it's like beautiful, but just like a little bit nasty, like under the surface. Random black metal. Is there always a 10? Yeah, true. Under a serpent sun. Unbelievable tripart harmony. So sick. I know everyone always talks about the riffs, but the vocals on this album too, you know, a lot of like the Swedish melodeath bands, they weren't really doing death growls at all. And I love that. I don't really want to hear like death growls all the time over melodeath, right? I love this. I don't want to call it like black metal vocals, but it kind of is in a way, right? That's sort of more high pitched, just like throat destroying scream here. It's just so cool. It's more of a shriek than a growl. Yeah, absolutely. Gojira takes notes. What a unique like ending to the song too. Just so completely out of the blue. What a change up. That song bangs. Not my favorite here so far. Definitely a lot more death metal-y than a lot of the other ones here. This felt more like closer to like Entombed than it does like In Flames. So I definitely see why some people in the chat love it, right? Because they love a little bit more of the death metal-y, more harsh, abrasive side, right? But then like our boy Tarl can be not the biggest fan of this, right? Just because it is that much more dissonant and sort of out of scale and not diatonic, beautiful like some of the other songs. Still really enjoyable. For me, Under a Supermoon is going to be 8 out of 10.
What's up, everybody in the house tonight? What's up? What's up?
8, 12 out of 10. 2 points each for the eyes. I think we can safely put this as a 9 out of 10 chat rating here. So now we got Into the Dead Sky is up next. One of the shorter tracks here. Forget the music. Just really cool song titles here as well. Like Blinded by Fear, Slaughter of the Soul, Under a Serpent's Sun, Suicide Nation. All right, boys, let's go. Into the Dead Sky. Talk about great album pacing. It's like giving you a little breather in the middle of just like this pummeling machinery like riffage. Just absolutely gorgeous. I love so much when bands do cool effects with the drums, like flanger and panning the back and forth, like as a whole in the mix. So cool. Sick chord extensions. Yeah, man, they're playing all those add 9 chords here. It's beautiful. Almost sounds like they modulated there to like a major key right at the end. Really cool. I'm just gonna rewind that. Like right here. Modulate to the major. So sick. Exactly. This is like a nice, like, catch your breath. Pacing in an album is so important. One album that I think is incredibly well paced is Rust in Peace. You have Holy Wars, right, just beats the shit out of you, and then you have that brief, you know, that classic guitar part before they go into the second part of Holy Wars. Then you have, right, Hangar 18 pummels you, Take No Prisoners, and then in a kind of a similar vibe, right, you get the intro to Five Magics, right, where the energy is brought down immensely. I gotta love it when bands do that, right? Gives you just a little bit breather from all the pummeling riffage. You just let the music breathe a little bit, right? Again, dynamics, right? Dynamics doesn't have to be just how loud things are. It could be how intense things are, arrangements, to just give it this kind of like sparse, kind of clean arrangement with classical guitars compared to like the HM2 really thick, like B standard riffage. Just so nice. What a nice change. I love that shit. I'm gonna give this, dude, 10 out of 10. Yeah, perfect. Perfect interlude. I love that they had the courtesy to stop and spit on it. A little lubrication goes a long way. All right, let's keep moving on, boys. The shotgun click, or cock. Ow! That little like octave pattern there, it's so sick. Again, metalcore bands would discover this like 20 years later. Nice harmonized riffage there. Oh, dude. Yeah. Such like bouncy riffage here too, man. So sick. This out like the lyrics, not really getting into lyrics now. Maybe I'll do it when I do a big breakdown of this album here. But man, yeah, like Suicide Nation, Mass Appeal, Death Addiction, Dead but Dreaming, Restrained by Phobia, Brainwashed into Submission, Control. Like, haha, bro. Chills, man, for lyrics. I wonder if Thomas ever used this voice to wrangle his middle school social studies classes. Imagine he's like your gym teacher. All right, go! Listen, and these were listened in 1995 in Sweden. You know what I'm saying? And they were as astute, ear to the ground, noticing that shit's fucked up in Sweden in the mid-90s. That's how you know they have the perspicacity to view the world as it actually is, right? The slaughtering of the soul. So good. Dude, the bouncy riffs, man. Man, this might be like the best sounding ride cymbal on an album of all time. Very windmill inspiring? Yeah, bro, absolutely. Yeah! Again, it's cool that it's not a lot of the riffage on this album. Like you go listen to the Jester Race and even like the Gallery, that's all very diatonic, like purely in the minor scale. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I really, really love that sound, right? Because it sounds so grand, sort of dark and dreamy sounding here. Whereas at the Gates in Slaughter of the Soul, they are playing around with the minor scale, but they're frequently introducing like the flat five, like the blues note. Like a lot of these riffs are kind of like a little bit bluesy, just really cool. Again, probably like some Entombed, like Wolverine blues inspiration here too, just kind of speed it up. Just such a great song. Again, like the next songs pretty much from like Under a Serpent Sun pretty much to the end of the album. I haven't listened to these songs since the last like full listen to this album, probably like over 10 years ago. So such a nice like refresher of why this album is just so sick. To me, Suicide Nation, that's an easy 10 out of 10 for me. I love that. That was a great song. It's been a while since I listened to the whole album, and I feel like this just became my new favorite of the album, Crazy Guitars. Yeah, bro, absolutely. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. We're all hitting the 10s here. All right, boys, let's keep moving on. World of Lies! Immediate head bombing. I take back what I said about the ride cymbal. The drums, period, in this album sound incredible. Not like boxy sounding toms, but there's like a lot of attack on the toms and kicks drums themselves. Just so good, man. I love the sound of the drums on this album. Go! How come bands stop playing skank beats? Bring back the skank beats. Make metal have skank beats again. Sepultura sound. Yeah, you're right. This is almost like the sound of Black Dahlia Murder's like Nocturnal. Like this type of riffage right here. Man, crazy. Playing that harmonic minor here. Such a sick riff. Such a cool change up in the drums. Dude, these chugs! Unbelievably good fucking riff there. It's such a sick riff. That cool, like, Iron Maiden lick over this riff, man? Fuck. Yeah, unbelievably great track, man. Such fucking cool, big, bluesy, sliding riffage there, man. Just sounds so massive. So many cool drum beats here, too. I love the way they change up the drum beats, too, but not like every time, just like once in the song. Just so cool. I love that little Iron Maiden lead that they kind of added in right at the end over top of like the big bluesy, slidey riff. Such a cool, like, just layering of all these different intervals and how they move around and match over each other. Oh, dude, unbelievably sick, too, man. I honestly don't really remember this song that much. So this is almost like hearing it for the first time again. That was fucking sick. 10 out of 10. Infinity out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I think we'll hit it with a 9 out of 10 for the chat rating here. They give you great riffs and refuse to overuse them. Makes you want more. Dude, exactly, bro. You don't need to make your songs 4-5 minutes long. Look at this. Look at these song lengths here, man. 3 minutes, 12, 3 minutes, 4, 3 minutes, 28, 4 minutes. It's like the longest song here is 4 minutes. Brevity is the key in metal to energy. Brevity and moving around, changing things up, giving you brief breaks, changing things. I totally agree, MH. Yeah, let's move on now, guys. Now we got Unto Others. Sick riff. Almost kind of sounded like a spider moving around there. The Black Dahlia Murder just made an entire career off ripping these like harmonic minor riffs from this album here. Unbelievably good. Oof, that's a great. Yeah, true. Ironically, based on your public taste, you might actually like Ibanaki. Maybe we'll consider listening to it at some point. Maybe. Oh, dude. Holy fuck, dude. What a riff there. Unbelievably sick.
You walk through what is me. Stare blind.
Okay, this is so fucking sick.
But you are proud.
Ooh, key change. Maybe not key change. Maybe just starting at a different home note. Oh, nice squealy too. Yeah, that was a really cool song. I barely remember this one too. Love that little brief like acoustic interlude that was just so brief. And then you come back with like the drums and stuff too. Man, oh, so cool. What I really like about At the Gates and a lot of this riffage style here is they like to combine these sort of like busy riffs with sort of like held octave chords over top, like on the other speaker. Kind of really creates a sort of like push and pull. Like one guitar is going crazy with like the riffage. The other one's just sort of like lingering on these notes, right? A really cool, interesting push and pull dichotomy here. Great lyrics too, poignant but oblique enough to where the listener can interpret them themselves. Great point. That's the hardest thing to do as a lyricist, to be specific enough to elicit the emotion that you want people to feel, but not so specific that it becomes unrelatable. Do you know what I mean? You almost have to like say nonsense but mean something with your nonsense. And I know this is like a far change from At the Gates, but that's part of the reason why Nirvana, I think, is always so good, right? Just the perfect like nonsense lyrics that you can sort of piece together to form your own meanings from the song. Absolutely. 9 out of 10 for me, 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I think I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. Chat agrees the 9 out of 10 because we had an 8 in there too. That's a big problem I have with a lot of rap and hip hop. The lyrics tend to be so specific to the artist's experiences and there's no room for interpretation, so I can't relate. Absolutely, Jeff. Absolutely. 100% agree. This has to be like top 10 90s metal albums. That's a great idea for a video, actually. Top 10 90s metal albums. Maybe I'll do that. A lot of like rappers, they really do that. Ironically, and in like a weird way, one of the rappers who I think does that opposite really well is Drake. Drake really has this sort of like diary rap style that almost sounds like he could be like writing for you in a sense. I think Drake's a great underrated lyricist. Say what you want about him otherwise. Another great lyricist in rap who does sort of like the same thing would be Guru from Gang Starr. I know he references a lot of things too, but he's very sort of mystical in his words too. Let's stop talking about rappers and let's get back to the riffs. Let's keep moving on, boys. Now we got Nausea, another brief under 3-minute song. Nausea!
Oh, sweet nausea!
Nausea. Oh, sweet nausea. Interesting chorus there. This album, a lot more sort of like traditional death metal vibes so far.
Oh, sweet nausea!
That's pretty cool. The chorus there, the guitar is sort of switched to halftime, but the drums stay in like their, full throttle feel. Kind of gives like almost like very uneasy sense to that chorus there. Almost like nauseous. Really, really cool touch there. I love these skank beats, bro. Bring back the skank beats. Short and sweet, pummeling and fast. This song, again, yeah, besides like the chorus, very, very, I don't want to say like traditional death metal because it sounds weird, but sort of like non-melodic death metal, right? The tremolo picked, like ugly riffage. But man, that chorus is so good. Yeah, like I said, like it really gives a sort of like feeling of unease and like sort of like nauseous feeling. Almost feels like you're kind of dizzy. Especially how he says like the hook of the chorus, like right at the end of the bar too, right? It's sort of like right at the end, nausea, right? Such a cool touch too. Really makes it almost be like, you almost can't stand it anymore how nauseous it is, and then it goes. What a great song. Not my favorite here. I'm gonna give this one 8 out of 10.
What's up, everybody in the house tonight? What's up? What's up?
Okay, let's see. What do we got here? 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10. I think that settles right on 9 out of 10 for chat rating here. We got Need, the Flame of the End. I assume Flame of the End is like the original end of the album because it doesn't tell me which one's on the bonus tracks. Riffs of the End Saved for me. Was never a huge fan of this one. This album really feels like they front loaded all like the real melodic death metal bangers and then kind of put the more death metal stuff at the end of the album for sure. All right, boys, let's keep moving on. We got Need. Oh, this riff. Holy fucking stank face riff there. Holy shit, man. Really cool riffs in that chorus there. The first riff of the song, very, it almost kind of sounded like thrash metal, like death thrashy. Yeah, but then they have like these really cool kind of like chord arpeggio things going on in the chorus here. This song's fucking sick. Really cool change into like 6/8 or maybe you call it 6/4 time here in the chorus. Really cool. Really gives a nice like wave to it. 12/8.
Actually, 6/8 is actually just two bars of 12/8.
You're probably right though. Whoa, keyboards! What the hell? They just say kill yourself to live in the speaker. I think of any song in this album, I need this song to be a little bit longer. Such cool ass riffs. I love how it was very sort of like pummeling, thrashy, right? 4/4 time, and then they change it to 12/8 time in the chorus there. Really gives it like a great different feel and really sort of separates like the thrashy parts to the chorus. Such a nice change too, right? It's just such a simple thing to do. Just change the time signature in the chorus so people know that here's the chorus, right? Such a cool, tasteful thing to do. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10.
Hey! Wait a minute! Wearing boxer shorts!
Let me do the chat rating here. Okay, 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 10, 8. I think 9 would be a safe rating for this here. Let's go, boys. Ah, nice. We got the nice MIDI program drums here. Baldur's Gate instrumental. This outro always sounded like COD Black Ops to me. I can see that. It sounds like this should be in like StarCraft. You know what I mean? Like there should be like Kerrigan's theme song or something. This outro is one of the best, honestly, melodic death metal history. Lost RPG dungeon vibes. Cool outro instrumental. The album comes, rips your face off, and then the band leaves you with this sort of ambiguous, noisy, kind of like lo-fi, grand, and sort of dark instrumental outro. Really, really cool. I enjoyed it quite a bit, even if I have heard that same snare drum sample like a million times after this. You know, this was 1995. You can't get too mad at sample chasing or whatever like that. I'll be honest, if I was listening to this album, I'd probably skip it every single time. Not bad. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Look at this graph.
6 out of 10. Beautiful way to end an album. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10 for the outro, 10, 6. I think an 8 out of 10 then would be an appropriate outro. Okay, album rating. This album is definitely front-loaded. The first, like, 3 songs are honestly 3 like the best metal songs I've ever heard, easily. World of Lies was unbelievably sick too. Suicide Nation. So many cool, interesting things. The production in this album is great. I love the sound of the drums, the guitars. The vocals are, like, nasty. Nothing overstays its welcome. In fact, some songs I'd actually want to hear more of, which is kind of rare, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. This album is just so sick. I feel like I almost have to give it a 10 just because of how like important the album is too. You know what I mean, guys? I'll give it a 10 out of 10 just because of how important this album is and how like honestly kind of refreshing and unique it sounds even today. Like nothing really sounds like this. Well, I shouldn't say that, but this is like a unique experience and a unique vibe and a unique setting and theme for an album too. For me, it's a 10 out of 10 album like the Just Race and Winter Sun's debut. Yes, those are both 10 out of 10 albums in my opinion and on. I totally agree. 9.5, 9.5, 8.8, 10 out of 10 for me. Flaws and all based. I love it. I love it. Sometimes flaws can be charming. 10 out of 10 with the 7 out of 10 song. Yeah. Flaws could be endearing, you know what I mean? Just because an album is a 10 out of 10 doesn't mean it doesn't have things that I don't like about it. If that makes any sense to you, right? To me, perfection in art isn't having everything be maximized, right? I don't want my art to be min-maxed. I want it to be charming. I want it to be human. I want it to be emotional. I want it to reflect the human spirit itself. Us as humans, we're all flawed people too, right? So nothing is ever perfect, but you can rate things a 10 out of 10. If that makes any sense at all to you guys. I think chat rating is 10 out of 10 here too. Yeah, this album communicates what it is trying to say very effectively. Yeah, exactly, Jose, exactly. All right, well, let's check out the last 3 bonus tracks. I am not like aware of the original song here. To me, 10 out of 10 is no room for improvement. It's perfect, and I wouldn't like it as much if it was any different. This is a 9.5 out of 10. Bass, Jeff. It was refreshing to go through this album again with some spirited inflection. Thank you. No, thank you for tuning in, good sir. And thank all you guys. This is sick. I'll do more of these for sure. Hearing them play almost like straightforward thrash metal song really puts into perspective to me how creative and interesting and unique their riffs are. Because this is essentially the same timbre of the album, same production, just completely different style of riffage and songwriting. People like to clown on metalcore for sounding the same. Bro, fucking every thrash band for 40 years has sounded the same, bro. Oh, nice. Okay, I'm excited to hear that. Never heard The Dying, for sure. All right. Well, that was Legion Slaughterlord cover. You know, like I said before, it just really just put in perspective to me just how good the riffage is on the rest of this album. Because, you know, here you are, you're taking the exact same production, how great the guitar tone is, how great the drum sound, how nasty and frenzied Tomas's vocals are here, and then you just put in like just kind of generic thrash riffage. And I think the big distinction here is that there's no real like chord changes. It was all just in the key of B, the open string. You playing like the flat second, flat fifth. There's no chord changes, and chord changes underneath of melodies are what really drives emotion in a lot of songs. That's really like the big distinction for me is like melodic death metal has chord changes, whereas all the other stuff kind of doesn't, or just honestly mid as hell. That's a 6. Okay, well, let's move on. Let's hear The Dying. So this was recorded during the Slaughter of the Soul sessions, but wasn't originally on the album. I can see why they would have left it off originally. It sounds a little too generic for the Gates and this album. Yeah, this is like pretty just kind of like ho-hum song, to be honest. I'm not really sure what makes it not as exciting as some of the other songs. Maybe it's like a little slower tempo, or maybe again, not very many chord changes. The guitar tone is insane. Yeah, oh yeah. That's funny, Gorthal based. Honestly, Gorthal, I can totally respect it. So many people are like,
No, if you like this, you gotta go listen to the stuff that inspired it.
I also like looking at the Mona Lisa. That doesn't mean I'm gonna go look at fucking rock carvings. I don't know, this song just kind of mid, honestly, low-key. You have to really respect a band with the courage to cut a song that didn't really, cut the mustard, really. Like, this wasn't as good as some of the other songs. You gotta respect it. Because I'm pretty sure, like, the original At the Gates, Slaughter of the Soul is, like, 35 minutes long. So they easily could have put The Dying on there, right? But I think if they did, it would have definitely, like, lowered the overall package. To me, that's, like, a 7 out of 10.
I'll bet they won't have. They have it! Motherfucking galaxy gas!
All right, boys, now we have Captor of Sin, the Slayer cover. This album length really got the punk vibes. Honestly, to me, man, like 45 to 35 minutes is the perfect length for a metal album. Anything longer than that, and you're sniffing your own farts. Looking at You, Metallica. This guitar tone, man, is insane. Hearing a thrash metal song covered just highlights to me why I love melodic death metal so much more than like any other metal genre, man. And Metallica and Megadeth, why are they the biggest thrash metal bands? There's a lot of chord changes in Metallica songs. Low key, they're like melodic thrash metal. Nasty vocals in this one. He sounds great in this song. I get what you mean, but Rain and Blood is my favorite metal album of all time. Rain and Blood is amazing. South of Heaven, Seasons in the Abyss, 3 amazing, amazing albums. I love those albums. Yeah, this mix sounds like shit. All I can say is I'm glad that song's over.
One fine-looking barbecue pit. Why doesn't mine look like that?
Low-key, I never want to listen to that again. That song's not my favorite Slayer song. One of the longest 3 minutes and 20 seconds of my life, low-key. I don't know, yeah. Clearly, they made a good call of what songs to put in the album. So true, so true, so true, so true.